Later, on Planet 1, which is what we call Earth today, it was discovered that when God had created a particular brook, he had placed sediment in it, but among the sediment, he'd actually put some manna by accident. That was in Belize, and this led to people being able to be healed if they went in there. And all creatures that live there were healed if they went in there. And in soul form, that water would refill the soul with a new body. So being in that water up to your waist for 12 minutes, in soul form, if a person got out of that water, they would find that after 14 hours or so, their body would be refilled and be completely healed of everything. So mana will heal any sickness. And with holy water, which is the water from that brook, which is mana mixed with fresh clean water, that has that ability. It's very unique. Years later, technology in the first history, the angel Daniel, he learned surgery by looking after his pet horses and wolves and other animals. He was essentially a vet. And there was an incident where God had got drunk and had a car accident and was extremely, his stomach was opened up completely. With God, if he should die, that's it. Alright, so no one else can refill a soul with a new body except God. So when God became injured like this, he almost died. There's a number of occasions where it happened, where God got injured so badly he almost died. It would be almost the end of everyone and everything. So God had a car accident, and the only way to fix it was they brought God into the workshop, where Daniel had a workshop where he built cars, serviced them and repaired them. With God, he had to make a sterile place to fix God up. He couldn't wear his overalls, which are black. He had to wear his white robes in order to be as clean as possible and sterile as possible in order to heal God. He had to fashion his own surgery tools and equipment inside that garage. There's an episode of MASH, which the Holy Spirit was responsible for, which is similar to it, where a doctor and a patient were inside a garage, and the doctor had to heal the patient by making his own tools and sterilizing them inside a garage. So years later, Daniel came up with surgery for transgender patients. So there were some angels in heaven who decided they wanted to change from male to female. This led to the decoding of the DNA, and he found that he could give them a serum and they could grow breasts to whatever shape and size that they wanted. There are other modifications, and then years later Daniel came up with the Holy Spirit, which is living sentient artificial intelligence, and did experiments and came up with Soul Chasis modification, and that led to the complete change of a chassis for a person to whatever it was that they wanted within certain parameters. So a person could be male or female if they wanted. There were some same-sex couples that wanted to have children. Then it was possible for one of them to change to a male with a vagina or a female with a penis, and then they'd be able to have children. That wasn't the only reason for it, so it led to the male with vagina chassis and the Shemale or Transexual chassis, and then sometime later the male and female Hermaphrodite chassis. So with the Hermaphrodite chassis, as I mentioned in a previous video, they're able to have big orgasms, and they have both genitals. So it's not a strange thing, it is a chassis modification that came from heaven. The other thing that Daniel came up with was telepathy, and this use in surgery and dentistry involved the patient not feeling any pain. So he could distract the mind through brain pattern modulation frequency, which gave the turn buttons off in the brain involved in sensation of pain and discomfort. It's also possible back then to play a video where the person was out doing something else while there was surgery going on, particularly for dentistry, which is uncomfortable and hideous nowadays. We'll get to that later. So people could have a dream where they were out doing something else, like skiing, while this was going on. In heaven today, telepathy is used through wormhole telepathy from the Holy Spirit, so when people are giving birth to babies, they don't feel any pain or discomfort whatsoever. So that's a brief introduction to the history of medicine in heaven. And I've made it extremely brief, but it covers a lot there. I'm the Archangel Daniel, and I'm from heaven.